You're 13 years old. You grow up in a tight-knit neighborhood in Hell's Kitchen, where everyone knows each other and nobody talks to the police. The men who run things aren't hiding. They drink at the same bar as your uncle. They attend the same church as your grandmother. They coach little league teams, but everyone knows what their real business is. You start small, running little errands. Nobody officially invites you in. You just make yourself useful. You carry messages from the bar to the warehouse. You stand on the corner and whistle if a police car appears. Sometimes you hold a paper bag and never ask what's inside. They toss you a few dollars, enough for a burger, enough to make you feel important. You're not part of the organization yet. You're just a kid who keeps quiet. That's the first test. The older guys are watching. They want to see if you can be trusted. Now you're 16. You've proven something important. You know how to stay silent. After church one day, one of the guys pulls you aside. Want to make real money? Now you're a runner. You've been waiting years for this moment. You move things from one place to another. Envelopes full of cash, packages wrapped in brown paper. You never ask questions. You never look inside. You just deliver. You make around $200 a week, more than most of your friends who bag groceries. When your mother asks about the money, you say you got a job at a warehouse. She doesn't ask more questions. Deep down, she already understands.
Now you're 19 years old. 3 years running errands without mistakes. The police picked you up twice. Both times you said nothing. Your name starts to mean something. You're now an associate. Not a full member yet, but part of the crew. You work directly under one of the earners. Your jobs become tougher. You collect debts from people who owe money. You walk into a bar and remind someone they have until Friday to pay $5,000. Most pay quickly. Those who don't see you again with 2 friends and a baseball bat. You start earning real money now, around $800 a week. But more importantly, you start learning how the business really works. The organization isn't just violence. They control unions, docks, businesses, and political connections. Violence is only a tool. The real power comes from influence. You keep your head down. You do your job quietly. And eventually, the boss starts noticing your name.
You're 24 now. 5 years in the crew. You even did 8 months in county jail for assault. You never talked. When you got out, the crew threw you a party. That's when you became a full earner. You run your own operations now, a sports betting book out of a neighborhood bar. People place bets on games. You take a percentage of every bet. When someone wins big, you pay. When someone loses and can't pay, you send collectors. You also run a loan shark business. People need money for rent or gambling debts. Banks won't help them, but you will. You lend $1,000 at 3% weekly interest. Many people never pay back the original loan. They just keep paying interest forever. Now you're making about $3,000 a week. You have a nice apartment, a car, and tailored suits. At church, people whisper your name. Money flows upward to your boss each week. That's the rule. Protection flows down. Money flows up. At 28, you prove something different. You don't hesitate. When problems appear, you handle them. No questions, no hesitation. You become the crew's enforcer. When someone refuses to pay after multiple warnings, you visit them. When someone considers testifying in court, you have a conversation. When someone steals from the organization, you make an example. You've done things most people couldn't sleep after, but you sleep just fine. Your reputation does the work now. When you enter a room, people listen. You make about $5,000 a week. But at this level, it's no longer about money. It's about power, fear, and respect. You're 33 years old, 17 years in the life. You've survived gang wars, investigations, and betrayals. Now you're a lieutenant, one of the boss's most trusted men. You run a major part of the operation. Maybe the docks, maybe the unions, maybe gambling and betting operations. You manage earners and enforcers under you. Money flows up through you to the boss. You make about $10,000 a week. But your real job is solving problems, disputes between crews, corrupt cops asking questions, politicians who need persuasion. You handle it all.
By 40, the boss is getting older. He needs someone to manage the organization daily. He chooses you. Now you're the underboss, second in command. Every lieutenant reports to you. Every problem reaches your desk. You handle money, operations, and politics. You make about $20,000 a week, but the pressure is crushing. The police are building cases. Your enemies want your position, and the boss expects absolute loyalty. Sleep becomes rare. Trust becomes impossible. At 48, the old boss dies. Some say natural causes, some say something else. Either way, the crew looks to you. Now you're the boss. Every decision flows through you. You never touch money directly. You never carry weapons. You never make risky phone calls. Layers of people protect you. You whisper instructions to your underboss, and a few days later, the problem disappears. But the throne comes with a cost. The FBI has a task force dedicated to bringing you down. Everyone could be wearing a wire. Everyone could betray you. The power is enormous, but the throne is also a prison. 60 now, 47 years in the life. You survived investigations, wars, and assassination attempts. Your enemies are gone. Your story has become legend. You sit in the same old bar where you ran your first errand decades ago. The neighborhood changed. Coffee shops replaced old stores. But the back room is still the same. A young kid walks in, maybe 13 years old, looking for a way to belong, looking to prove himself. You could tell him to go home, stay in school, choose a different life. But you don't. Because someone always needs to run errands. Someone always needs to learn the rules. And so the cycle begins again.